Jubbly, jubbly. This is the Chelsea Football Fancast. I am Stanford Chidge, and your Uncle Stanford Chidge does like a bet on the old football once in a while, and I thought, again, not a lot of football to talk about this week, so who better to speak to you than our old chum Nigel Seeley, who knows more about football betting than almost anybody I know. Nigel, are you with us?
I'm there, Chidge. Good evening. How are you, sir?
It's lovely to hear your dulcet tones, mate. What have you been up to?
Nothing much. Enjoying the Easter break. Unfortunately, watching Chelsea lose. Unfortunately, I've had a financial interest on that. Other than that, no, mate. Very, very relaxing. Very with the family.
And how are QPR doing?
Enough said about that.
Touché.
We won today.
Did you now? I haven't been following it today.
Last minute winner, Charlie Austin, but it's about 3 months too late, mate.
Yeah, you're not going to make the playoffs, are you?
Oh, they'll definitely make the playoffs. They won't win it.
Oh, they're in the playoffs, are they?
There might be a few quid in it for him, I suppose, but other than that, no.
What are the odds on Harry being there next season?
Well, he could be going to Man United by the look of things.
We would all applaud and welcome that, I think, Nigel. Well, there you go. Anyway, you and I had a little chat last week, and we thought it'd be a bit of fun to talk about various bets that are kicking around. And we've just had a 20-minute discussion on what strikers Chelsea should buy next season. Who are the favourites in terms of strikers for Chelsea next season? Who we're likely to buy, do you think?
Well, I watched what you and the guys were saying there just a minute ago, and there's no surprise Diego Costa's the favourite. I mean, he's an absolute revelation. You're going to see him at first hand probably over the next couple of days of the Chelsea fans. What a good player this guy is. The only way you can stop him scoring is by doing a Mooney at him, but in a penalty kick. That's the only way you can stop him scoring.
Yeah.
But he's 4 to 7 favourites to sign for Chelsea. He's a stellar sign. I think he's going to happen. The money's coming for him to suggest that's going to be the case. Falcao is a 9 to 2 shot. And I was very interested in what you were saying there about Ibrahimovic and people like that. Ibrahimovic is a 25 to 1 shot to sign for Chelsea. But there's one man you missed off there. I mean, I wouldn't rule out a return for Didier Drogba, you know.
You know what? It's funny. It's funny you should say that, mate. Because I mean, Dan and I were talking before the show, and we said we can't see him coming as a player, but possibly on the coaching staff. So I mean, you think that's quite realistic?
Well, I think you guys hit the nail right on the head. You need 3 strikers. I mean, you need quality strikers. Now he's got a relationship with Mourinho where he probably won't mind being the second striker or the third striker, playing when he needs to play. And I think at 6 to 1, you can have a lot worse bets than Didier Drogba returning some capacity at Chelsea. Costa's the favourite, 4 to 7. That looks as though it's going to happen. There's Mandzukic, you mentioned, is a 14 to 1 shot. Benzema, 20 to 1 shot. And Balotelli's name is a 25 to 1 shot as well. That wouldn't surprise me, something like that. But I do think if I was offered a £5 free bet where I'd have it, I'd have a £5 on Didier Drogba to return at Bridge.
That's it. There's an interesting amount of betting on that. We've got our own little market here, haven't we? We could have a lot of fun this summer.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the fun of the strike. But the trouble is, I mean, I'm looking at the list here of strikers. It's a who's who in world football.
Yeah.
There's it goes all the way down to one person here is a 500 to 1 shot, and that's Emil Heskey.
Lovely. We follow. I don't know if you remember this guy, but we follow. Dan and I follow Joe Allen on Twitter, who was the great white hope of the early 80s, I think. And we were going to tweet him and said, Joe, we're going to put some money on you coming back. I wonder what odds we get on him, mate.
Well, I saw Kerry Dixon the other day. He's probably in better shape than Kerry. So,
I'd
rather back him than Kerry. He's a little bit overweight there.
Luckily we have widescreen, but I think even I'm in better shape than Kerry. But there you go. All right, mate. Well, that's fair. I mean, just for your own self. I mean, you're pretty sure we're going to get Costa, I would have thought.
I think that's where the money's heading. I mean, and you got in these kind of markets, money does talk. I mean, you're not talking about hundreds of thousands of pounds being found. You're talking tenors, 20s, 30 quids. But for the bookies to react so much that he's odds on already suggests that somebody somewhere knows something.
Yeah.
I think you need one stellar signing. He's the man. And if you watch the Liga this season, he's been absolutely superb. He'll fit Chelsea brilliantly. He'll be great in the Premier League. And I think that's where you're bringing it. But like you say, you do need 2 or 3 strikers. And if I was purely having a financial interest, my £5 would be on a Didier Drogba return.
That's a go. I like that. What was it? 6 to 1?
6 to 1, mate. Yeah, 6 to 1.
Yeah, that's not too skinny. I like that. Now, talking of Diego Costa, of course, we've got Atletico Madrid tomorrow night in the first leg of the Champions League. I bet you've got some interesting bets on that match.
Well, I mean, all the money today and the build-up to the game now is coming for the Spanish side. Atletico Madrid have been heavily backed today. They've started off at even money this morning. They're into odds-on. Now, that doesn't really worry you. I think Chelsea, when they go to the second leg, if you're 1 or 2 goals behind, you always fancy a chance to get through. And I said to you the other day, I do think, you know, I'm purely impartial here. I come on and for talk about Chelsea, but as somebody who hasn't got blue spectacles on like yourself, Gigi, I think you can win the Champions League.
They're brown, mate. What are you talking about?
I think 5-1 you to win the Champions League is a great bet. I think you're a great bet to beat this side over 2 legs. I'm amazed that you're underdogs over 2 legs to beat this side, but I do think this will be tight. I don't think there's going to be many goals. I think both legs will be very nervy, like the last one. I think you may go lose by the 1 goal tomorrow. I wouldn't be rushing down the betting shop to back Atletico Madrid at even money or shorter, because they've never played in this kind of game before. Chelsea have. They've got a manager who knows what to do. They've got a team that knows what to do in these big games. And I think the 4-1 Chelsea's too big. But if I was looking at it from a Chelsea point of view, I think you could go there and get a 0-0 draw, and then you'll come back to a bridge. But I wouldn't be rushing to back you at 4-1. But over 2 legs at even money, I think you're a great bet to progress to the final.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, it's interesting what you say, because I think, Atletico Madrid have got a phenomenal record at home.
The thing is, though, this is a totally different game for them. I mean, they've been awesome this campaign. They've been absolutely phenomenal. They're now favourites to win the league. Very similar to what's happened in England. You've got 2 big sides. Obviously, everyone expected Chelsea or Manchester City to win the Premier League, and another team's come up. But this is a big game for them. They're not used to this kind of game. I mean, it's all right beating, you know, Granada at home, all these kind of times. But the Spanish league in depth isn't that great. I mean, you go 15 matches at home, 20 matches unbeaten at home. You only really play 2 sides effectively. It's like the Scottish league. Yeah. But at the end of the day here, this is a big game. Yeah. And I just got a feeling that Chelsea know how to play the big games. And I'm doing this purely from a neutral point of view. And if someone offered me an even which one I'll go for, I'll definitely go for Chelsea over 2 legs, because they've seen it, they've done it, and they know what to do in these big games. Whereas Atletico Madrid, one thing about them, though, they could lose their heads. The manager's a lunatic. We all know what a lunatic he is. But,
our old friend Simeone.
Yeah, he's an absolute nutcase. So I could see a few cars in the second leg. Obviously, you know, especially the way it would go. But one thing you will not see in these 2 legs is bundles of goals. This will be tight. Yeah. 1 goal first leg, 1 goal second leg. But on the big game temperament, you've got to fancy the Blues. Yeah, no, that's very interesting. What are the outrights for the Champions League like at the moment, mate? Yeah, well, you're the outsiders of the 3, which I find, I said the 4, which I found quite staggering, really. I couldn't believe that. I mean, when the draw was made, everybody pushed Chelsea out in the betting, which I thought, out of all the 4 teams you've got the, on paper, you've got the easiest game. So I was shocked. Bayern Munich are 6-4 to win it. But if I was a bookie, and if I was Mr. Ladbrokes or William Hills or something like that, I would lay Bayern Munich to lose £1 million. I can't have them. I can't have them. I can't have them, mate. I don't think they're that good. If Arsenal can go and do them over, produce a performance against them, they're not that great. I think Real Madrid are a great bet over 2 legs to beat them. You're 6-4 Bayern Munich. You've got 11-4 Real Madrid, and I just think it's destiny that this is going to be in Portugal. Mourinho against Ronaldo in the year of Eusebio's death. I think it's something in the stars going to happen. And I just think Chelsea Real Madrid final would be my best bet. And if you want to back a Chelsea Real Madrid final, you're looking at 5-2 for your money. I think that's a decent bet. I can't understand why Atletico Madrid are favourites. The bookies' favourite outcome is Atletico Madrid and Bayern Munich, and they're the 2 teams that I don't want. Yeah, that's really odd, isn't it, boys? I mean, we would. I think I've had a feeling that it's going to be a Real Madrid Chelsea final for a while, because, like Nigel says, it's a written in the stars type situation, isn't it? Jose against Real Madrid, who the relationship with is awful. Carlo, our old manager, I think I like that. And I do love that. I agree with what you're saying, Nigel, about Bayern Munich. I don't think they're quite the side they were. I think Pep has kind of tick-attacked them to ineffectively. Also, as well, he's poopified them. It's very difficult. People don't realise in football, it's very difficult to rage a game when you've won the league. They won the league in February, this lot. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's very, very difficult to rage yourself in a one game. Real Madrid are playing competitive games week in and week out because they're in a title race at the end of the season. But Bayern Munich have won their league, 4 weeks ago? They've got it wrapped up. So they're losing, and then they have to go into big games. It's hard to keep that side of the energy going, the momentum going. So I think over 2 legs, Real Madrid are great. But I'll put you away a little bit there. I gave you 5-2 for Chelsea Real Madrid. It's 7-2 Chelsea Real Madrid. It's 5-2 for Chelsea Bayern Munich. But I think the best bet over the whole Champions League this week is Real Madrid to qualify for the final. I cannot believe they're the underdogs, and I think they've got goals in them. And you can see without Ronaldo now, Bale playing well, and I think they're the team you want to be on over the 2 legs in that game.
So what are we to win the Champions League on that outside bet?
Yeah, well, to win the Champions League, you're 9-2 shots. You're the outsiders of the 4. They're betting 6-4 Bayern Munich, 11-4 Real Madrid, 4-1 Atletico Madrid, 9-2 Chelsea. I fancy the Real Madrid-Chelsea final, which is a 7-2 shot. And once you get to the final, anything can happen, as you know, as we've known with Chelsea all in the past.
All we need, mate, is to bring Paulo Ferreira out of retirement and put him on Gareth Bale, and we'll be fine.
What you need is a front line of Joe Allen and Kerry Dixon. You'll be all right.
I'd have that, and maybe Robert Fleck on the bench.
No problem. Robert Fleck, going back to Panini 1992 there.
Yeah. It seems like it was only yesterday, Nigel. Right, turning back to the league, actually. I mean, I was hoping to talk to you very effusively tonight about our odds for winning the Premier League being really short and our odds for beating Liverpool next Sunday being really short. But sadly, Sunderland seems to have put something of a damp squib on that. So where do things now stand with us against Liverpool and then us in the Premier League?
Well, I remember coming on with you guys at the start of the season, and I tipped up Liverpool to win the Premier League, and I was shot down by a lot of the guys there.
No, never. I don't believe it.
25-1 they were. And I can safely say the Seeley household will be cheering the Liverpool to win the Premier League. But anyway, Liverpool are 1-5 now to win it.
Wow.
I still think there's lots more to go here. I don't think this is just straightforward. I think the game against Crystal Palace is going to be very, very tough. I don't think that's a shoo-in whatsoever. Chelsea now, unfortunately, out to 33-1. Which,
ouch.
Yeah, Man City are 5-1. They're in action now. They're 2-1 up and flying, looking good again. But the game next week, Liverpool are even money at home to beat Chelsea. Chelsea are bigger than 3-1. Now, I tell you what, that is too big because Liverpool will not relish playing Chelsea. That Mourinho was probably the most tactical display of football this season is when you went to Manchester City, and what you did on them stopped them playing. They will not be allowed to play football the way that Liverpool do. Liverpool come out the traps flying and they play great football, entertaining football. That will not happen against Chelsea side. They'll be up for it, and at 3-1 to win that game, I think you're far, far too big. Again, if I was Mr. William Hill Lamberts, I'd lay Liverpool for 2 million.
Yeah, I tell you what, mate, that's good value there, and it's interesting what you say about Chelsea stopping City playing when we went up to the Etihad, but actually, you know, Liverpool only have one way to play, and that's to come at you, really hard. And when we beat them in the bridge,
Liverpool are the biggest flat trap bullies in the Premier League. They beat all the other sides. They come out and they're 2-0 up, but then you've always got a chance. We always score. I mean, Norwich had them on the ropes for the last 15-20 minutes yesterday. If Chelsea go in there with a belief that they could still win the Premier League, I think they'll do it. The only thing that they may think it's come at a bad time sandwiched between 2 massive Champions League games. That's the only thing I would say against it, and that's probably why they're 3-1. But I don't think this is going to be anywhere. I don't think the odds are a true reflection of the game. Even money, Liverpool 3-1 Chelsea. If they were to play 10 times, you wouldn't say Liverpool win more with 5 of them. I think it's a lot closer than those odds reflect.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. And we were saying much the same about the Champions League games possibly querying the pitch vis-a-vis the Liverpool match. But yeah, I mean, weirdly, I think we have a better chance against them than we do against teams like Sunderland, because they will come and attack. And if we can stop Luis Suarez playing like we did at home, we can hit them on the counter, and hopefully one of the strikers might turn up and actually find the net, which would be handy.
You've always got a Migne kick, throw in, or a mistake somewhere going to happen. I mean, you've got to take positivities out of Liverpool. I mean, the amount of goals that they concede. And the thing is, if you're always you will score there. There's no doubt about it. And can you stop Chelsea scoring 2 goals? Can you stop Liverpool scoring 2 goals? I think the answer to that question is yes. So you've always got a fighting chance to get them, the better sides. So I think that's far too short. So there is some positivity. If you do think Liverpool will win that game 3-1, then definitely have a few quid on the 33-1 to win the Premier League. Because if they do win that game, there'll be a 6-1 or 7-1 shot at the back of it.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Right, there's a couple of other bets. We've had some news kicking around this week, which is around the Player of the Year, and look further down the line, the Manager of the Year. Now, Hazard's got a nomination in both the Young Player of the Year and the Player of the Year, hasn't he? And he's up against Suarez and Gerrard for the Player of the Year, and I think Sterling and Sturridge,
Barkley and Shaw,
and Barkley and the young player of the year. So what Hazard's odds for either the young player or the player of the year?
Well, you got to remember. I mean, I tweeted about this yesterday. I saw the prices yesterday, and I saw the way Raheem Sterling's been playing. He was 28-1, and I thought that was a good bet because I thought he's a good. He's playing coming some form. But I was shot down straight away. Someone told me that these votes are casted a couple of months ago. So the votes are already in. And I think Hazard will win the Young Player of the Year because of that fact. He was playing exceptionally well. He was definitely the best young player in the league in sort of February time when these votes were in. So I think his odds on 4-7 to win that. I think that's all to do with the timing of the votes. On the Player of the Year, I mean, realistically, Suarez has got it in the bag, isn't he? I mean, there's no real betting on it. You can't.
What about the sentimental vote for Stevie Me?
Well, I tell you, what he's going to win, mate, without a shadow of a doubt, and I backed him 2 weeks ago for this. 33-1, the BBC Sports Personality Year. He's now 2-1 favourite. He will absolutely, certainly win that because it comes down to a public vote, and he'll be up against Lewis Hamilton. Yeah. I mean, there's no way that, and it's a World Cup year, and as we're going into the World Cup, I don't know if it's me or my age or whatever, but I'm getting more and more optimistic, thinking, you know what, we could do well here. We could do well. I think it's just blind hope, really.
Nigel, the thing is, you've got to have a personality to win Personality of the Year, though, don't you?
Yeah, but you just got to look at him. I mean, he's captain of England. You say that Damon Hill won it. But
true enough.
Also, Gerrard did cry the other day.
I mean, I think personality means you can't win it. But I do think he's a certainty for that. I do think Suarez is going to win it. I mean, you've got to look at where he was this time last year. You know, a year to the day since the attack on Ivanovic. So you've got to think of the goals he scored and the way he's been. He's been absolutely unbelievable. Every club in the Premier League we turn around saying, if we had Chelsea had him, they'd win it by 10 points. If Arsenal had it, they'll probably just about make the Champions League on the last day of the season.
All right, mate. So what Hazard's odds? I mean, you were kind of indicating he's probably favourite for the Young Player of the Year, yeah?
Yeah, his odds on. He's 4-7 to win the Young Player of the Year, which I think he's going to do because of the timing of the votes. For the Player of the Year, he's about a 33-1 shot, but everyone's a 33-1 shot because Luis Suarez is 1-200 to win it. Isn't there? No bookies are taking any bet on it.
Is it worth? I mean, you know, is there any betting going on for Manager of the Year so far?
Well, yeah, this is the interesting one. I mean, I spoke to you about it, didn't I, last week? But I've actually tipped up Tony Pulis at 8-1, and I think what he's done is phenomenal. But if Liverpool win the Premier League title, there's no way they will not give it to Brendan Rodgers. Yeah. But it's a certainty to win it if they win the Premier League. But if they don't win the Premier League and Chelsea win the Champions League, Mourinho is still a 16-1 outsider. He won't win it though. You know he's not going to win it. You just know. You know?
Why not?
So, well, I don't think he's got the manager's votes, is he? I mean, I just can't see him winning it. I think Pulis will be the guy who'll get it for the fairy tale story, what he's done. You know, you've got to remember that team were 1-50 to get relegated. Yeah. And they're now up to 10th or 11th in the Premier League.
Personally, I would love to see Pulis get it because I get really fed up with the fact that just because you win it, you end up getting the Manager of the Year when actually what Pulis has done has been truly remarkable.
Mate, the betting is a two-runner race. You've got Rodgers around about 2-1 on. You've got Pulis now into 5-2, and you've got Mourinho the same price as Nigel Pearson. Yeah. Do me a favour.
Mate, very quickly, we've got to go in about 30 seconds. Where should we be putting our bets?
What, on the game
with
tomorrow?
Which bookmaker?
Well, tomorrow, definitely under 2.5 goals, under 2 goals. This is going to be 1 goal. This is to be 1 goal in it, so I think under 2.5 or under 1.5 goals. Unfortunately, I think he might come back to the bridge losing 1-0, but definitely Chelsea to qualify for the final.
Lovely.
And I love Real Madrid to beat Bayern Munich over 2 legs.
Lovely stuff. Nigel, lovely to speak to you as always, my friend. Great knowledge. And I hope we'll see you soon or even get you back on the show sometime.
Yeah, take care, mate. All the best.
You too, fella. Take care. Lovely, yes, round of applause for the legend that is Nigel Seeley. We've got to go, Dan, sorry, mate. We've got to go. We'll be back in a sec to say arrivederci and other things like that. We'll see you in a sec.